Hey, what's going on, guys? So, if you've got a PS5, you probably already noticed that Sony just dropped another system update today, July 23rd, just hit all regions, and I wanted to break down what's actually going on with this thing because there's some stuff you need to know about how Sony handles these updates and what gamers are still dealing with. First, let me talk about what Sony actually told us. According to their official patch notes, they said, and I quote, "We've improved the messages and usability on some screens." That's it. That's literally all they're telling us. Now, here's the thing that's kind of frustrating about how Sony handles these updates. They release something like 1.2 gigabytes of data to your console, and then they just tell you it's for performance and stability. But here's what's probably actually happening behind the scenes. They're likely fixing multiple issues, patching security vulnerabilities, maybe even tweaking back-end systems to prevent people from hacking or modifying their consoles, but they just don't want to tell you about it. They'd rather just keep it vague and say improved performance and stability and move on. This is actually pretty standard practice for console manufacturers. Microsoft does it with Xbox, Nintendo does it with Switch. They release these firmware updates and keep the details locked down. Sometimes there are hidden features or fixes that the community figures out weeks later. Sometimes there's nothing special at all, and it really was just security patches and minor bug fixes. The point is, we don't actually know what Sony fixed because they won't be transparent about it. That's the real story here. Now, the reason I wanted to make this video is because even though Sony just pushed out this update today, there are still tons of PS5 users dealing with problems. Like, a lot of problems. We searched around online and found that gamers are still reporting the same issues they've been complaining about for months. And since Sony isn't fixing these things, or at least not telling us they're fixing them, I wanted to put together a comprehensive guide of everything people are still facing and how to actually fix it yourself. Let's start with the DualSense controller, because that's probably the most complained about thing with the PS5. Stick drift is the number one issue by far. If you've been gaming for more than a year, you've probably experienced this. Your character just starts moving on their own, or the camera slowly rotates without you touching anything. This is happening to about 60% of controllers that go in for repair. The reason is the analog sticks use potentiometer technology, where a metal wiper scrapes along a carbon track, and over time that wiper just erodes the track and gives bad readings. The fix is actually pretty simple. Use compressed air around the stick base and clean it with 90% isopropyl alcohol. That works for a lot of people. Then you've got unresponsive buttons, which is usually dust to the contact pads or worn rubber membranes. Again, compressed air is your friend here. For the adaptive triggers, those L2 and R2 buttons, if they feel loose or don't have resistance anymore, the mechanism might be damaged. That one usually needs professional repair or a new controller. Controller won't charge is another big one. Could be the USB-C port, could be the battery, could be internal wiring issues. Try a different cable, check if the port is damaged, and if you're comfortable with it, you can try replacing the battery. Battery draining too fast during sessions, turn on power saving mode. Controller won't connect to the console, just plug in a USB-C cable and press the PlayStation button. Random disconnections during gameplay, reset the controller by holding the reset button on the back near the L2 button for 5 seconds, then repair it with USB. Muted microphone, check settings under devices and accessories, clean the mic area, and test it in different apps. Trigger button stuck, clean around the trigger area with compressed air. Haptic feedback not working, restart your console, check game settings, and update your controller firmware. Input lag between button presses and response, reset the controller, update firmware, move closer to the console, and check for Bluetooth interference. Weak adaptive trigger resistance, go into settings, accessories, controllers, and adjust the trigger effect intensity. Moving on to console power and startup issues. PS5 won't turn on at all. That's usually power outlet, power cord, or internal power supply issues. Hold the power button for 15 seconds to force shutdown, unplug it for 30 to 60 seconds, try a different outlet, or swap out the power cord. Black screen with no display, check your HDMI cable, try different ports, test the cable on a different device, restart the console. Console crashing during startup, boot into safe mode, rebuild the database, or do a factory reset if needed. Random shutdowns, especially in rest mode, disable rest mode completely. Go to settings, power saving, set time until PS5 enters rest mode, and choose don't put in rest mode. Power supply making sounds, different outlet, check cable connections, and contact Sony if it keeps happening. Overheating is a big one that people don't think about enough. System getting too hot and throwing error messages, stop putting it in a cabinet, stop putting cloth over it, leave space between it and walls. Keep the fan unobstructed under the faceplate. That's where the airflow happens. Loud fan noise, clean dust from the vents with compressed air, make sure ventilation is good, check your room temperature. Performance dropping because the console is thermally throttling, improve the airflow situation, clean the vents, play in a cooler environment, and give the console breaks during long gaming sessions. Storage is where a lot of people run into problems. PS5 doesn't have a ton of built-in storage, and you can't install new games if you're out of space. The fix is getting an SSD expansion drive. That solves the storage problem completely. Downloads taking forever, or the download queue just stuck? Pause and resume it, restart the console, check your storage space, clear the cache. Failed game installation? Delete the game, free up storage, reinstall it, check your internet connection, restart the PS5. Game won't download because of a network error? Check your internet speed, restart your router, check the PlayStation Network status page, sign out and back in. Corrupted download files? Delete them, rebuild the database in safe mode, and reinstall the game. Slow download speeds? Use a wired Ethernet connection instead of Wi-Fi. Close background apps, restart the router, check your ISP speed. Installation getting interrupted by rest mode? Disable rest mode during installations and keep the console fully powered on. For disk and game-related stuff, PS5 won't read your disk. Make sure there's no fingerprints, smudges, or scratches on it. Use a microfiber cloth to wipe it down. Verify it's inserted correctly. Try another disk to see if it's a disk problem or a console problem. PS5 installing the wrong version of a game? Delete the PS4 version, insert the disk again, and select the PS5 version during installation. Game crashing mid-play? Update the game, clear cache, rebuild database, reinstall the game, check for system updates. Game won't launch at all? Restart the console, reinstall the game, check your game license, update the system software. Game performance dropping with stuttering? Close background apps, enable performance mode, update the game, free up storage space. Games taking way too long to load? Install that SSD expansion, clear cache, rebuild database, close other apps. Network and connectivity issues are causing headaches for a lot of people. Can't connect to PSN or Wi-Fi? Restart your router, check your Wi-Fi password, use an Ethernet cable, restart the console, check the PSN status page. Network connection keeps dropping? Move the console closer to your router, use a wired connection, change your Wi-Fi channel, restart the modem. Internet speed slow on PS5? Use Ethernet, reduce other devices on your network, change DNS settings, contact your ISP. Can't connect to specific game servers? Check server status, wait for maintenance to end, restart console, check your firewall. NAT type issues, messing up online multiplayer? Enable UPnP in router settings, configure port forwarding, restart the router. Lag in online games? Use wired connection, close background apps, restart router, ask your ISP to run a speed test. PSN server outages? Just wait for Sony to fix it, check the status page, try again later. Data transfer stuff. Can't transfer data from PS4? System crashing when you try? Restart both consoles and try again. Better yet, use Wi-Fi transfer instead of USB. Save game corrupting? Restore from cloud save if you have one, use backups if available, contact Sony support. Slow data transfer? Use Wi-Fi with good speed instead of USB. Cloud save sync issues? Manually upload the save to cloud, check your PlayStation Plus subscription, rebuild the database. System software and updates. Failed system update? Check for available updates. Make sure you've got stable internet. Try the update again from safe mode. System corruption or corrupted files? Boot into safe mode, select clear cache and rebuild database. Then select rebuild database to scan your SSD and reorganize system data.